Hello, dear viewers. Welcome to Anuvapti Academy. Learning is limitless, and so is your potential. I am Anusha Naikwad, helping you to make your concepts easier. And soon we all are going to come up and face UGC NET examination, which is scheduled in the last week of December and first week of January 2026. So I understand that it's very important to conceptually, theoretically understand all the concepts of syllabus. Now, theoretically you are done. But what about the MCQs, the practice? We don't know how twisted questions it comes. Correct? So no worries. Anuvapti Academy has bought you the complete set of 150 practice questions from each chapter for just rupees 500 for Commerce Paper 2. And if you are wishing to purchase for Commerce Paper 1 also, and you are purchasing both the papers, that is Paper 1, 150 questions from each chapter, and Paper 2, 150 questions from each chapter, you can grab this deal at just rupees 800. And just Paper 2 at just rupees 500. So 150 questions from each chapter comes to 10 chapters into 150, 1500 questions, 1500 practice questions. So here in this video, we will be looking into few of the practice questions, and apart from these different questions, you will be getting into your MCQ booklet. Okay, so without any further delay, let's get started. So today we will be looking into the practice questions of accounting and auditing, and previously we have completed the practice questions of marketing management and business environment. If you have missed the video, attaching the link in the description box, please go through it. And also you will find a feedback link on the description box. Just fill on it. If you have any queries or any questions, you can just drop a photo of that question there, or you can just tell some good words relate or any improvement you want to see on our channel so that we can implement in our long run. Yes, so accounting standards in India are issued by that is Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So accounting standards ASB in India is given by Chartered Accountants of India. Next, the fundamental concept accounting assumptions as per AS1 are going concern, consistency, and accrual are very fundamental assumptions and very important assumptions. Prudence, conservatism requires that recognizes losses but not unrealized profits. So it means that you keep a measure of all and also anticipate your losses, but do not record your unrealized profits. Okay. A change from WDV to SLM depreciation is treated as change in estimate. Okay, this is also very important to know that accounting standard 5 is of depreciation. Inventory is valued at lower of cost or lower of NRV. NRV is net realizable value, guys. Contingent liability should be disclosed unless remote, which means you have to disclose all the possible obligations before you consider it as remote or probability of outflow. You have to disclose this contingent liabilities in the foot of balance sheet. Revenue from sale of goods is recognized as risk and rewards. Next, cash flows from interest received from a non-finance companies is nothing but investing. Obviously, when we are investing only, we are receiving the cash flow from that company. Non-finance company means something which is not involved in banking and all, because these are finance, and when we receive from them, it is like nothing but we are financing. No, investing. Okay. Next, EPS primarily profit if purchase consideration exceeds the fair value of net assets acquired. The excess is nothing but the goodwill. Under FIFO, with rising prices, closing inventory is overstated. Okay, FIFO means what? First in, first out. So when we are following the FIFO method with rising prices, so what is in the inventory is obviously overstated. See, FIFO leaves the newer higher cost in the closing stock, raising the value of the inventory. Okay, provision for doubtful debts is created by debiting the P&L account and crediting the allowance for doubtful debts. Next, the right issue is an offer to existing shareholders in proportion of their holdings. Okay, right issue, we give it to the existing shareholders. Next, bonus issue results in increased paid up capital without cash flow. Okay, bonus shares. Under A16, borrowing cost for qualifying asset are capitalized until ready to use or sale. Prior period items arise from, yes, errors or omissions in prior period financials. So if there is any error or omission which was happened in the prior period financials, you take it into the current as prior period items. Next, revaluation surplus on PPE, that is nothing but plant, property and equipment, is generally recognized in OIC or equity. Yes. Cash equivalent cash equivalents exclude 60 days short term, 30 days short term, 90 days is short term. Marketable equity shares are not. So these are excluded. These are not cash equivalents. A sinking fund is created for redemption of debentures or shares. Non-controlling interest is consolidated financial statement, represents equity not retributed to parent. Audit primary object is to express an opinion on the true and fair view. Audit evidence must be, yes, sufficient and appropriate. Sufficient, see, quantity should be sufficient and quality should be appropriate. Materiality in audit refers to, that is, yes, information likely to influence the user decision. Materiality that could affect. Inherent risk is the susceptibility of an assertion to misstatement due to the nature of the complex item before considering the controls. Control risk is the risk that there will be misstatement will be prevented or detected by internal control. So when we when we do internal control, we can prevent misstatements, or we can know if there are any misstatements in the financial statements. Detection risk is the risk that auditor's procedure fail to detect material misstatement. Okay, detection risk means when the auditor fails to detect the material misstatement. Audit risk model states that the combined effect of three products, that is IR, CR and DR. Yes. Professional skepticism requires a questioning mind and critical assessment of evidence. We cannot blindly trust, we cannot relay, but yes, we have to question, we have to assess on the evidence. So that is professional skepticism. Watching primarily addresses existence and occurring of transactions. What are vouchers? It's the proof that transaction had actually occurred. So watching is the proof. Verification primarily addresses existence, ownerships and valuation of assets and liabilities. Analytical procedures are used in planning as substantive test and overall review. External confirmations provide evidence that are from independent third party, generally which are more reliable. The auditor's report to company is issued under section 143. Sorry. Section, yes, here it is. 143. Qualified opinion is appropriate when material but not pervasive misstatement or limitation. So, when do we give qualified? That there are no misstatement or limitations. There are some material things which can be influenced, but they are not pervasive misstatement or limitations. Next, adverse opinion is issued when the materials are pervasive and misstatement. Disclaimer of opinion arises when pervasive scope limitation preventing the sufficient evidence. CARO 2020 applies to specified classes exemptions for certain small and OPC entities. Yes. Internal Audit in Companies Act 2013 is mandate for certain class of companies meeting the thresholds. Okay, internal audit is not something which is compulsory, whereas external audit is compulsory. But internal audit, according to Companies Act, there are some companies which meet that threshold, they have to follow according to section 138. Written representatives are the complementary evidence for management on specific matters. Next, subsequent events are nothing but the events that happen after between balance sheet date and auditor's report date. मतलब after balance sheet date and before auditor's report date. Going concern evaluation requires auditors to control cash flows, debts, and mitigation. If material uncertainty exists on going concern, the auditor emphasizes matter if disclosed, just adequate, modify if inadequate. Yes. Test of control is used to evaluate the operating effectiveness and to control or reduce the substantive work. Cutoff testing ensures that the proper period recognition of revenues and expenses is done. In computerized environments, CATs include test data and audit software to reperform the control. Window dressing refers to intentional enhancement of financial position. Window dressing is misleading, intentionally making the financial statement strong. Performance audit evaluates the efficiency, effectiveness, and the economy. And that efficiency, effectiveness, and economy is also called as 3E framework. Forensic audit occurs when for legal proceedings and fraud investigation. Forensic. Environmental audit is compliance with environmental laws and risk mitigation. ES3 dividend paid is classified as financing outflow. Financing. Why financing? Because share is a financing activity, and when we pay dividend for that, it is financing outflows. Correct. Quick ratios. What is it? Quick ratios exclude inventories and prepaids divided by current liabilities. Correct. Debt equity ratio measures the long-term solvency and the leverage. Debt equity ratio is long-term. Current ratio is short-term. If selling price rises with other factors constant, the break-even point decreases. Okay, the break-even point decreases. PV ratio equals to contribution divided by sales. Material cost variance is Q into SR minus AQ into AR. EOQ. What is EOQ? Economic order quantity. 2AD, 2 in root of 2 into A into D, that is demand, ordering cost, annual demand divided by carrying cost. Under marginal costing, fixed manufacturing overhead is treated as period cost. Under marginal costing. Okay. Next, responsibility accounting divides an organization into cost, revenue, profit, and investment centers. Responsibility accounting. Activity-based accounting assigns cost based on activities and cost drivers. Target costing begins with market price and desired profit which you want to achieve. That target is set and then you price it. So this is it for today's video. If you have any queries, you can clear it in the next video or you can just drop into the comment section. So see you in the next video. Until then, don't forget to subscribe, hit like and share this video with all the NET and SET aspirants.